Welcome to episode 2 of Spillin' the Tea. I'm Laura Perilla,
And I'm Greg Barton.
and today our tea is Remember Me from Dollar Tea Club. Here's the packet, and it is a black tea with apple pieces, corn flour, linden, mallow petals, and natural flavors. You steep it at boiling temperature and 2 to 3 minutes. I did mine for 3 minutes, and this is the color it came out. I was smart and put it in a clear mug this time.
And I did mine for 3 minutes, and mine is in my carbon mug.
Yeah, mine is in a beaker mug because it's meant to look like a
There you go.
chemistry
We've
glassware.
come over to the chemistry side.
So
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I'm accessorized appropriately. Um, so I
So
guess
it looks like we have some news.
we do have some news, but I'm gonna try this tea first because mine's cool now because I made it a little bit ago. I like it.
Mine is hot. I like it. I thought it would maybe have, I don't feel like it has as much apple flavor as I thought it would have, but
No, it's sweet a little bit from the apple, like that makes it less bitter. Sometimes a black tea can be bitter,
yeah.
and I don't taste a lot of tannins in this one.
No, it tastes it. I don't taste the bitterness in this, and sometimes that can be due to some of the other things in it, or just the amount of
Yeah.
time you steep it makes a significant difference in that too.
And I don't know that I really taste a whole lot of florals from the linden flower or the mallow petals or the cornflower. I mean, it just
I
tastes
thought the cornflower might be a stronger note than it really is because sometimes the cornflower helps sweeten things up too. I think a little bit, and I just it
it
seems
just
like
tastes like tea.
it's mostly a black tea,
Yeah.
even though that it really the flavor is mainly black tea.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that this is anything special. If you're a Lipton drinker, maybe it's an upgrade, but
that
so
first tea that we reviewed on the first one really, it
that
had,
set the bar real high. This one.
yeah, I think it did.
So, all right.
I'm not sure I'm going to remember this one.
Yeah, right. Remember
Remember
Me
me.
is not a very good name for this tea. I think on a 1 to 10, I think I would give this a 2. I would not spend my money on this.
Yeah, I agree with you. So
There's
here we are.
nothing wrong with
We're giving it a two thumbs down, I guess.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not terrible, but
Right.
I think there are better things to spend your tea budget on. So
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't
not sort of a
think I would.
specialty. I see on other news they're having an indoor snowball fight dodgeball event on
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
From
going to be in the gym over in Student Achievement Center. That
I
is
mean,
free. You don't have to spend your money for that.
I would imagine that
Anybody
so
that likes to play dodgeball or likes to have snowball fights, but maybe they're just like, oh, but the snowball fights, they make me wet and cold, and then I'd have to go to class. This is indoors. So I think that they have fake snowballs that you're throwing at each other.
so this is definitely something you should let your class know about.
It's on February 5th and 6th. So that's
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday, and it's from noon to 2 over in the gym in Student Achievement Center.
There we go. So when I was a student, this would be something I probably would have participated in something like this. So
Yeah. And then one that does cost a little bit of money is the Friends Trivia Night next week on Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30. There's going to be refreshments, and then they're going to play a trivia game based on the TV show Friends. And it's a charity for the Greatest Need Fund. $5 for students and $10 for any other adult.
okay. Well, it sounds like it all goes for a good purpose too. Sounds like it would be a fun night. And so if you were a fan of Friends, the show Friends, of course, then this could be for you. It's making me think about this movie that there was a character in the movie who was really into Friends. It's a movie called Leave the World Behind. So I know I'm going off on a little tangent here, but it's a movie about this family vacation and sort of this, all of a sudden there's a side. I shouldn't get into all of the details because you might want to watch this actually. The It was partly produced by the Obamas, interestingly enough.
Huh.
And anyway, in this movie, they lose their internet, and there's this the daughter in the movie has her tablet, and they're out, and she can't get on the internet, and she's been watching Friends, okay, and she's to the last episode, and she can't watch that last episode, and she's really upset about it that she can't see the last.
This is a major driving plot point of this movie.
Well, it's just one of the. It's actually a minor plot point. I just thought it was funny seeing this Friends thing that it brought this movie to mind. I thought the movie was intriguing, and so you might want to check it out. It's like I say, this is something that just came up, since we do this live. I just, for some reason, that trivia brought this movie to mind for me.
Well, speaking of things that have just come up, grab your mug because I've got some steaming hot tea. I heard that last night, as of 9:30 at night, that Respondus lockdown browser for D2L can now be compatible with Chromebooks and is automatically enabled now on D2L for every test that is using lockdown browser. They
Wow.
fixed security issues. So now we can actually offer that to all of the students that are using Chromebooks for their online classes.
Well, that's amazing because a lot of students, I think, who just have a Chromebook have been upset that they can't use their Chromebook to fully participate. And so
Yeah.
if that's all they have and they're less expensive in terms of cost, so this is something that can help a lot of students. And if we can get the word out, maybe students that feel like they didn't have the resources to do online classes could actually do online classes. They thought they couldn't because they just had a Chromebook and it wouldn't be enough to do the online classes. But this really makes a big step in that direction, I think.
And I'm so excited now that I can tell my students who were saying to me, because every week, the first week of the semester that has a lockdown browser test, every semester I get the emails of, I only have a Chromebook. What am I supposed to do?
Right. And
And
now you don't, now you can say it all works with the Chromebook too now, right? So,
yes, it all works with the Chromebook too. So I'm very excited to tell my students about this. I'm probably going to send an email out to them this afternoon because I had some students who were worried about the lockdown browser and the fact that they only had a Chromebook.
and now they can use it. So you say it's automatically enabled.
Yes, I went and I checked my D2L settings for my lockdown browser enabled tests, and I did not see a new option that I had to enable. And um, he tested it out last night with a Chromebook. And when he tried to leave the test to go do something else on the internet, it immediately warned him that if he left the exam to access other internet sources, he would be kicked out and the test submitted as it was.
Right. It would end the session essentially and submit the test.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he clicked the button again and it immediately kicked him off, signed him out of D2L and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Then
great. So you actually tested the functionality of this as well on a
yes.
Chromebook.
And he emailed Patrick, who shared this news with me. So this is steaming hot tea straight from the math department.
Good job on finding that news because I hadn't heard anything about that. I mean, I think that's really breaking news. So we really, I think in this episode, Laura, you really found some tea to spill.
Yeah, I think I might make that like the title of this episode. Remember me and Chromebooks for lockdown browser.
That
But
might be a good idea because I think people will be interested in that whole idea of being able to, have your students use a Chromebook and the
yeah,
fact that lockdown browser now works on the Chromebooks.
yeah, this is huge. And I think one of the lovely things I've seen around this campus is that we do have a push towards making things accessible financially for our students. There are a lot of people that use open education resource books so that they're free for the students, or who are writing their own textbooks so that they can receive a copy for free or low cost online, or if they want it printed. Um, People using free alternatives to some of the softwares that normally you would have them pay for. We give our students the Adobe products and the full Microsoft Office
Yeah.
suite. And I think
And I
in
use in
this,
my classes, I use this chemistry virtual lab called
yeah.
Chem Collective,
And that
essentially.
is
It's
that
through
free?
CMU and it's completely free to use it. And so I've put together procedures on there, and you can actually make labs of your own on there. So it's a very interesting resource for those of us in chemistry. But it's, again, one of those ones where the students don't have to buy a lab manual. The
Yeah.
virtual lab access is free, and it's one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. It's really well programmed. It works, fairly well,
Yeah.
and so I think this goes right along with that students can't always afford a nice laptop, but a lot more of them can squeak out enough money to get that Chromebook, and that allows them then to be able to access our
Yeah.
educational resources remotely when previously they couldn't fully do that.
Yeah. And I love to see that because students are looking to us as a community college as a way to save money on receiving an education. They're wanting to use their financial aid dollars wisely, or their cash if they don't have financial aid.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a wonderful breakthrough for the students who are on a tighter budget. And I'm very excited for this.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. It's a great thing. And I think, you know, getting the community, the faculty community to know that this is out there now and that this has happened is a good is a good thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm overjoyed because I hate having to tell our students who are already maybe stressed out, oh, yeah, you have to figure out a way to borrow a computer or make it to campus to use one of ours just to take your test, when they thought they were taking an online class, maybe because, they're very busy. And I always felt terrible telling our students that that was the only option available, but I'm going to feel so much better not having to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That there's one barrier removed now.
Well, that's great. Do we have any more news today?
No, that I saved the hot steaming tea for last when
That's
my mug of tea was getting a little cold.
that's the best spot for the hot steaming tea, right? To spill
Right. Yes,
the
because then
hottest
people have to
story.
watch all the way to the end. See, I'm
A captive audience.
yes. I'm slowly learning how to do this whole podcast thing.
we're figuring it out on the fly. You never know
Yes.
what might come out during these live shows. I mean, there was even a possible movie recommendation today. So
So I think we'll just have to settle for telling our listeners to have a terrific day.
have a terrific day, everyone.